The call for answers and justice continues. Our community mourns the death of 13-year-old Kimani Latigue. Her family is remembering her life as she would have celebrated her 14th birthday this week, and her father remains in the hospital.
What's your hands? Kill me.
Dude, show me your hands right now.
Me, bro.
Pull your hand out of your... I swear to God.
Citizens report attack.
Salute squad, what's up? Today we got a crazy one. We got police release new gruesome details on Kimani Latigue, you know. So let's get straight on into that, guys.
That we suspect a family member has kidnapped him and has run off with him, that we have descriptions of cars or locations and stuff like that, something that we can provide. And for this type of case, it just did not meet that criteria.
So, investigators in the Kimani Latigue case just dropped some new shocking details that point directly at her father, Darnell Jones. Trust me, folks, this case goes way deeper than any of us could have thought. According to sources close to the investigation, Darnell was acting real shady in the days after Kimani went missing, almost like he was afraid of something. And get this, even his girlfriend started feeling very suspicious of him after he asked her to switch off all the cameras in her house. Come to find out, he was trying to stash some suspicious-looking things in her house. As if that wasn't shady enough, he tried to flee the moment he realized the police were after him, and when they finally caught up to him, he opened fire on them. Guys, it's innocent until proven guilty, but we all know the evidence doesn't lie. And right now, things are not looking good for Darnell. So, let's talk about it.
And as we come on the air here at 5, the community in mourning just days after a Toledo teenager was found dead in an abandoned home. Kimani Latigue, forever 13.
So, the death of 13-year-old Kimani Latigue has sent shockwaves through a Toledo, Ohio neighborhood, and the entire community is grief-stricken, with too many questions and very few answers. For those who aren't familiar with the case yet, the body of Kimani Latigue was discovered on Monday, March 24th, in an abandoned building after she had been declared missing for about a week. She was found in a terrible state. According to reports, there was evidence that she had SA'd and her body had been mutilated. And now her father, Darnell Jones, has been arrested, and there are rumors that he might be charged with the crimes against his daughter because all the evidence points to him right now. This case started on March 17th, when Kimani's grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, who she lived with, came back home to find the house upside down. For context, Kimani lived alone with her grandma and 2 dogs. Dorothy was her legal guardian, and it looks like her parents might have been separated. So Dorothy gets home, and Kimani is nowhere to be found. This is odd because, according to Dorothy, Kimani's keys and glasses were at the house, and Kimani can't see without her glasses. But that's not the only weird thing in this situation. Dorothy noticed that the house was in complete disarray. The stove was on and she could smell gas. Kimani's clothes and underwear were scattered on the couch, and her pajamas were on the dining room floor. It was too many red flags for Dorothy to ignore. So she immediately went to the police and filed a missing persons report. While the police started their investigation, Kimani's family started handing out missing persons flyers, organizing searches, and pleading with the public to help find her. Kimani's mother, Tiara Caston, was heartbroken and confused by her daughter's disappearance because she had seen her daughter just 2 days prior when Darnell brought her to her house. Meanwhile, Kimani's father, Darnell, got on the news to spread the word about her disappearance and ask for help. According to him, the last time he heard from her was on the night of March 16th, after she called him to say she was scared to be home alone. Darnell.
Man, yo, this is disturbing, y'all. Put a 1 in the chat, guys, for Kimani, y'all. Put a 1 in the chat for Kimani.
Elle claimed Kimani told him she felt like someone was trying to break into the house. So he drove up there with his cousin and left around 12:30 a.m. However, it's not really clear what happened from there. Did he call the cops? Did he inform her mother and grandmother? If your daughter tells you she's afraid that someone is trying to break into the house, would you just leave her alone and go back home? All these questions will be important later because, as you're about to see, this case takes a wild, gruesome turn. Fast forward to March 23rd, and Darnell was charged with abduction about Kimani's missing persons case. Their reason? Well, he was the last person to see her. He claimed to have seen her on March 16th and gone to the house where she was alone with the dogs. This was around midnight on the 16th. The following morning, Tuesday, March 17th, Dorothy returns from work to find the house scattered, Kimani's clothes everywhere, and her glasses, which she can't see without, in the house. but no Kimani. This leaves so many hours Darnell cannot account for, so it only made sense for police to charge him with abduction. Sadly, what started as a search and rescue soon turned into a recovery mission. The day after Darnell was charged with abduction, Kimani's body was found in an abandoned building on Miami Street, North Toledo. It was no longer a missing persons case. It was now a homicide investigation. The scene was gruesome. It was like whoever had attacked her wanted to inflict as much damage as her little 13-year-old body could take. One of the cops on the case described it as one of the most horrific cases I've ever heard. It was that bad. According to the autopsy result, Kimani's cause of death was multiple incised wounds to the neck. She had also been SA'd. Her hands were and she was nearly decapitated. Columbus Police Lieutenant Brian Steele called the perp an animal, saying, "This is an absolute animal that came into our town." The moment the investigation started, Darnell was the prime suspect. Not only was he the last person to see her alive, but he also couldn't account for his whereabouts. According to reports, Darnell gave inconsistent reports about his whereabouts and what he and Kimani did together, so they issued a warrant for his arrest. However, Darnell's behavior got even weirder and more suspicious. At first, police couldn't reach him because he had fled his home and was MIA. This gave the police even more reason to go after him. If you're innocent, why are you on the... Why don't you want to stay and help with the investigation? If you've been wrongly accused, why don't you ask for a lawyer to declare your innocence?
Absolutely. That's very, very suspicious, y'all. Very suspicious. Y'all hit that like button.
Darnell didn't do any of that. Instead, he ran away, trying to avoid getting nabbed. Darnell's luck eventually ran out, and police tracked him down in Columbus, about 2 hours south of Toledo, where Kimani's body was found. As if everything wasn't already suspicious enough, Darnell started a standoff with the SWAT team sent after him. He whipped out a bang-bang, which led to the SWAT team firing at him. From the body cam footage, it doesn't look like he fired at the cops, but I guess the threat of pulling a weapon out at all was not a risk they were willing to take.
Where am I? What you're trying to kill me?
Dude, show me your hands right now.
Me, bro.
Pull your hand out of your...
Myself.
I swear to God, pull your...
Shots fired. Shots fired. Dennis in a second. Get back, go.
Don't move. Don't move.
All right, suspect down. All you guys are okay.
Don't move. He's got 33 right there.
33 in his hand.
No, it's a walkie-talkie, but there's 33s right here. Don't you move or you're going to get shot, okay?
None of the cops were injured during the shootout, but Darnell ended up in the hospital in critical but stable condition. The charges against him were increased to murder and felonious assault.
Tonight, her father, the man accused of killing her, remains in the hospital after he was shot by SWAT officers in Columbus yesterday.
Now, the investigation is just a few weeks old, but there's already lots of twists and turns. And somehow, no matter what road you take, you still end up at Darnell being the most likely suspect. Just when you thought there couldn't be any more surprises in this case, Darnell's girlfriend came forward with even more shocking revelations, painting Darnell as the perp. The girlfriend revealed that Darnell had called her on the Friday before he was arrested, asking her to turn off the cameras at her house. It was super odd, and she did not feel okay with that. So she decided to leave the cameras on. It would turn out that this decision helped the police get vital evidence against Darnell. According to the girlfriend, she was in the bedroom when a relative saw Darnell move some items out of his SUV and into the house, hiding them under the basement. What was he hiding? Well, allegedly, Darnell was hiding a mat. The type you put at the back of your truck when you're hauling something and you need to protect your back seats. And not just any truck, an SUV. According to the girlfriend, he also hid his work boots, which were caked in mud, in the basement. But there was no reason for his boots to be caked in mud because he hadn't worked in a while.
What did he hide under your stairs?
It was like a mat for the back of a truck, not a pickup, but SUV. You know, when you lay your seats down and you put that rubber mat in there to protect the back of your seats in case you're hauling something. That's what he rolled up and put in my basement. And his work boots, which were caked with mud, and he hadn't worked in a while.
She added that after Darnell hid those things in her basement, he went off the grid. She didn't hear from him again until he called her from Columbus, which was how she was able to give the police his location.
Now, moving on to Darnell Jones, he's in the hospital currently, and that's where we're kind of at with that situation. But I know that yesterday you mentioned in an interview that you guys sent detectives down there for questioning. Has he confessed to anything? Has he confessed previously before then? What what are you guys getting?
So we did send detectives down and interviewed him in his hospital room. We made progress there. So we have some things that we're going through at this point. Once we get all the information that he provided, that we've gathered, we'll meet with the prosecutors. We'll walk through that timeline with the prosecutors and decide with their guidance on the charges that will be filed. And then at that point, we'll talk about what charges are going to be out there. We'll release that information. But right now, we did talk to him. We are moving forward. I would say we're in a pretty good spot investigatively anyways on moving forward with this case.
If you've been following this case since the beginning, it's almost impossible for you not to at least suspect that Darnell had something to do with Keimani's disappearance and death. He has been acting shady from day one and keeps acting like he's smarter than the police. Keimani Latigue was only 13 years old. 13. And now she's never going to know what it's like to get a driver's license, go to prom, go to college, or get her big girl job. None of that. She'll be forever a teenager with her whole life in front of her. Heartbreak doesn't begin to describe how it feels, especially for her family, friends, and community. Keimani was a very intelligent and kind little girl who was loved by everyone that knew her. According to her mother, Tiara, Keimani wasn't a troublesome kid at all. All she did was go to school, play basketball, and go home. She was a well-behaved kid who faced her studies and was kind to everyone around her. She attended Spring Elementary School, where she was going to be given a kindness award the same week her body was found. That's how kind she was. She was also on her school's honor roll assembly, and she was just days away from her 14th birthday. Keimani isn't just a victim of a senseless crime. She was a young girl with a bright future ahead of her who had everything to live for. She didn't deserve to have her life cut short by whatever sick, disgusting person did this to her. No kid deserves that. Everyone who knew Keimani is devastated, and it's not just because she was a precious soul that was taken so violently from the world. It's also because, according to reports, it could have been avoided. Apparently, Keimani's friends and teachers had noticed that she was showing signs of for a long time before she went missing.
They are shocked at the news of this young life taken too soon. They also wonder if the outcome here could have been different. We reported yesterday that one of Keimani's former teachers says that she and others reported concerns to Children's Services that they believe fell on deaf ears.
And see, that be the problem. We all like to ignore the problem. We all like to see the good in so much mess. The whole thing be messy, but we sitting there want to look for the little piece of good in the situation, and then we want to overlook the truth and what's in front of us. We do it every time. We do it every time.
Those concerns were raised when Keimani was with a different guardian. Council President Carrie Hartman says it seems like a lot of systems failed this young girl, saying it's hard when it feels like it could have been preventable. Councilman George Sarantu called this a sad time, but he says he also wants to know what happened.
We deserve action. We depend on these agencies to do their job. And I guess my question is, did they do their job? It doesn't sound like that. But I have an open mind. I want the truth. We all need to have that information ASAP.
According to the Mayo Clinic, some of the signs a child going through any form of abuse may show include withdrawal from friends or usual activities, changes in behavior, such as aggression, anger, hostility, or hyperactivity, or changes in school performance, depression, anxiety, or unusual fears, or a sudden loss of self-confidence, sleep problems, and nightmares, an apparent lack of supervision, frequent absences from school, rebellious or defiant behavior, self or attempts at self-unaliving. Now, it's not clear which or how many of these red flags Keimani's teachers noticed, but according to reports, she was exhibiting some disturbing behavior. And get this, the teachers allegedly reported this to Child Welfare Services. Sadly, nothing was ever done about those reports. And now we're where we are. Keimani was failed by many people, including the people who were supposed to swoop in and help if her family wasn't doing enough.
A lot of systems failed. That poor girl, I think we are included in that. I think the community failed her. It's hard when it feels like it could have been preventable.
Maybe if someone had done their jobs properly, we would be having a different conversation right now. But I guess we'll never know.
Political officials are going to have to step up. The local organizations, nonprofit and private, the businesses are also going to have to step up, because at this point, we should have been doing this a long time ago.
We just can't wait to make this happen and make it better for these kids out here.
The only good thing that has come out of this is how the community has come together to grieve and honor Kimani's memories. Folks have been stopping by the abandoned house where she was found and holding memorials to honor Kimani.
This scene where the little girl was found, her body is found in this house, and if you just take a look right here, people have been coming every day to memorial to say their goodbyes and to basically, remember this young lady. This community is heartbroken.
There was also a candlelight vigil at the location to remember the life of 13-year-old Kimani Latigue. Sherry Sweeney delivered the opening prayer at the candlelight vigil and had a few words for the community. She said, "City of Toledo, we've got to do better as a whole. It takes a village to raise these babies." You could feel the emotion rising from the crowd, ranging from sadness to anger. Everyone wants answers, and nobody can understand why anyone would do this to a child.
For her, I think the whole town wants something for her to have, an abundance of flowers, a beautiful casket, maybe a park bench or anything to help, with the memorial.
There are also now discussions about how this kind of thing can be prevented in the future. No child deserves to get their life snatched from them in such a gruesome manner. It's too late for Kimani, but hopefully, other children will still be saved. Meanwhile, people have been demanding justice for Kimani and praising Darnell's girlfriend for not protecting him. Thank you to the girlfriend for not protecting this male. Now, the rest of the community, take note. The girlfriend is the reason this demon was caught so quickly. May justice for Kimani and her family be even faster. My heart breaks for the family's loss. She looks smart and needs her story and courage to be told. This young lady is one of many. Please allow her to help other girls who are going through something similar by being a light of hope for better resources. But do you think Darnell looks suspicious enough that he could have done it? Or do you think the police need to investigate other angles? Let us know in the comments.
Man, it's unfortunate, yo. The dad did that, yo. The dad did that. He took a life, guys. He took the life that he brought here. And that's sad. We gotta protect these children, man. We all use these children. Everybody use these children. We get over. We get things by using these children, and we don't give these children nothing. We don't even protect these children well enough. Man, let's take it to the comment section, y'all, and let me know how y'all feel about this, y'all. All right, like, share, and subscribe if you digging the message, if you feeling the content. I'll see you guys later, y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all day.
Citizens report.